you are. Poker chips. Compliment to Mayor Nard Lundy. Just waltz right over to El Dorado Saloon and ante yourself into a fortune. Remember to vote. It's Nard Lundy's town. Let's keep it that way. Welcome to Boulder, sir.
Thank you, son.
Here you are. Compliments of the mayor.
Now, why should the mayor give me free poker chips?
Election time's coming in 2 weeks. Just the mayor's way of making sure you remember his name come voting time.
Vote? I can't vote. I don't even live here. I just came here to see my daughter and her husband.
Good. You've got family here. That's just the same as resident. Now, don't forget to vote. It's Nard Lundy.
Like I always figured, Jeff Rose is full of pickle juice.
I'm Captain Orrin Hayes, late of the Texas Rangers. That man you just shot full of holes happens to be my son-in-law. Can you tell me where I can find his newspaper office?
Yeah, around the corner there to the right.
Captain Hayes.
Sweetheart.
What are you doing so far from Texas?
Why didn't you let us know you were coming?
Oh, I thought I'd surprise you. I haven't seen you since you were married. I've been retired from the Rangers now for some years.
And you got lonesome.
Well, a man just can't quit. Can't sit around and listen to your arteries harden. I want some action, travel. Help starve the blood.
Well, we're real happy to see you. And you stay as long as you please.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Say, looks like you've got quite a business going here. But, tell me something, son. What are those wanted posters on you around town?
Oh, those aren't wanted posters, Papa. Those are campaign posters. Jeff is a candidate for mayor.
Well, the way they're shooting his picture full of holes, I'd say you're not wanted.
Mayor Lundy's a very clever opponent, Captain. Owns most of this town and runs it from his El Dorado Saloon.
Well, Charlie, how are you? Sheila, my dear. Lovely as always. Well, how are you?
Fellow coming on the stage a couple of minutes ago, Mayor. Old fellow. Says he used to be with the Texas Rangers. And Jeff Rose is his son-in-law.
Well, if he's old, he shouldn't worry you, Clyde. And if he doesn't live here, he can't vote for Jeff, so he doesn't worry me.
Nard, have you seen this new edition of the Sentinel? He's got your whole record in there. Mine, too. Yours, too, Clyde. All the facts and figures, the dates, all the graphs, the payoffs, all the illegal taxes. He says I ain't a proper judge. He says I'm guilty of malfeasance. Whatever that is.
It means you are a walking whiskey vat, and you bought your Justice of the Peace office years ago from Charlie Reeves.
But I've still got my office.
Only because I keep you there, don't forget that, Your Honor. Now, don't you just shut up, Amos. You know, a smart man who's handy with words. He's a tough opponent. But when he starts to smear you with the truth, he is deadly.
If this paper ever gets to the governor's office.
Get the boys all together. Round up every copy of this that's in circulation. Buy them, steal them, take them, but get them.
Telling you all along, Nard. You give that newspaper fellow too much rope. Well, you always got things done right.
Oh, no, Clyde. I'm not the sort of man to use force when gentle persuasion will serve. Why don't you get your deputies together and pay yourself a little call on Mr. Rose? Hmm? You sure raked this Lundy over the coals. Well, if it's a battle he wants, let's give it to him. I'll pitch in and help. Do me good. Little action is what I need.
You here on law business, Sheriff?
No, we're just a bunch of plain citizens. We come to tell you that we don't hold with your brand of mudslinging, name-calling politics. And we don't want you printing nothing more. Nothing.
Now, wait a minute, Sheriff. You can't interfere with the freedom of the press.
You keep out of this, you old Moosehorn.
Moosehorn? Listen, young fella. On your best day, you couldn't curry mules in my outfit.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
Jeff. Jeff. Jeff, you've got to give up. Lundy's too powerful. He's too dangerous. Maybe next time he'll order Sheriff Barnes to use his gun.
That's exactly why he's got to be fought and beaten.
Sheriff, the best thing for you to do is strap on your own gun, fight him in his way.
Captain Hayes, I know gunplay was necessary in the days when you were with the Texas Rangers. But if we're ever going to have progress in the West, we've got to learn to fight our battles with ideas and words.
Son, looks like you kind of run out of words.
Well, maybe Hannah's right. Maybe I should give up. You know, a lot of people were glad to see me run against Lundy, but none of them would lift a finger to help.
I know a handful of men. Just 3. Who could straighten out Lundy and his gang in a hurry.
Who's that, Captain?
Fastest guns in the West. Finest riders. Top scouts. Crack men who served with me on the River Brazos. Who brought law and order to the Lone Star State. The pride of the Texas Rangers. First off, I'll send to Abilene for Nash Crawford. His gun was quicker than the blink of a cougar. Faster than the flick of a prairie dog's tail.
Go for your gun, mister, and you'll be dead afore it clears leather.
Gosh, Grandpa, is that exactly the way you had to shoot out with Sam Bass?
Well, of course, the saloon wasn't all cluttered up with gewgaws and dinguses like this. Now, you fellas clean this up for you, Ma sees it.
And this is the exact kind of gun you carried in the Texas Rangers, isn't it, Grandpa?
Well, it's a mite smaller than the Colt 45, more like a hideout gun.
What's a hideout gun?
Well, come on over here and I'll tell you about it. Stick yourself down there. Now, I recall I was wintering in the bend on the San Saba River east of Mount Oddville, see? The captain sent me on a scout after a fellow who was wanted for murder and horse thieving. Well, boys, that's when I got my first taste of a hideout gun. You see...
What was that crash I heard in here a minute ago?
Oh, my fault, Ellie. Had a little accent with a lamp.
I suppose the Texas Rangers just won another battle against overwhelming odds? Run along, boys. It's time for your nap.
Oh, Mom, Grandpa was just going to tell us about...
Keep. Do like your ma says.
Pa, I know you don't mean any harm, but you've got to stop filling the boys' heads full of those blood-curdling fairy tales about fighting horse thieves, Indians.
Fairy tales? Boy, them things really happen. Fact is, I ain't even told the kids the bloodiest ones yet.
Next, I'll send to Kansas City for Jason Fitch. Second best man with a gun and the finest scout in the Rangers. He has eyes like a hawk in the daytime, eyes like an owl at night.
Captain, don't ride after them 2 fellers. I know they're a mile off, but I can tell they're Comanches. That big one's a chief. I can tell by the mark on his forehead. I see the tip of a feather sticking up behind a boulder way off there to the south. That's the feather of a scissor-tailed flycatcher. There's another Comanche beneath it. An ambush, some Redskins bushwhackers.
Oh, you must have been a marvelous scout, Mr. Fitz, to recognize all those terrible Indians so far away.
Takes eyes like an eagle, Miss Fletcher.
I'm Mrs. Murphy.
Oh, yes. You're Mrs. Murphy, not Mrs. Fletcher. Say, you're a pretty little thing.
Mr. Fitch, you're really much too bold at times.
Once had a shootout with 3 dudes over a woman like you.
Mr. Fitch!
Real catalog woman she was. Pretty little thing. Just like you.
Mr. Fitch!
Mr. Fitch! Mr. Fitch!
Find your own woman, boy.
This telegram just came for you.
Somebody's dead.
It don't have a black border.
Let's see it. You tell me what that says, Miss Murphy. I need my strong glasses for reading.
It says Brazos.
Brazos. That's the old code word of our company. It means trouble. Strap on your guns and hit the trail. What else does it say?
It's just an address. Sully's Mine on Feather Wash, south of Boulder, Nevada. Signed Captain Orrin Hayes.
Captain Orrin Hayes. Our old outfit's back in action. I gotta light out for Nevada fast.
We'll help you get packed, Mr. Fitch.
How can I help, Captain Hayes?
Don't you feel up to it?
Sure, I feel up to it and over and way past it. But Nevada's a long way from Kansas City. I haven't got no horse, or artillery, no money to make a trip if I did. Well, maybe when I don't show up, the captain will think I'm dead. Maybe I ought to be. Good night.
Come on in, it's your house.
Boy just delivered this telegram for you.
Who in tarnation be sending me a telegram?
What's it say, Pa?
Brazos.
That's all? Brazos?
No, there's an address here, too. Sully's Mine on Feather Wash, south of Boulder, Nevada. And it's signed Captain Orrin Hayes, my old captain from the Texas Rangers, Ellie. He needs me. He's calling me to ride again.
You mean it's trouble? Shooting and fighting?
Brazos. It's the old code word. He always used to call us together. Well, it's a kind of reunion.
Pa, it's been years since you've heard from Captain Hayes, and...
Every man in our outfit come a-running when he hears that word, Brazos.
But your outfit's all broken up. It's spread over the whole country. Retired.
No ranger retires perpendicular.
Well, it's an awful long way to Nevada.
Yeah, well, it was a far piece down at the Oasis, past Fort Clark, and up the Devil's River, and on to Beaver Lake, to hit the Kickapoo. But we made it.
Well, how are you going to eat and sleep along the way? What were you going to do for money?
Oh, I've saved a little.
From what?
From not spending it.
Well, if your mind's made up, then I guess I can only kiss you goodbye and wish you good luck.
Yes, sir? I'll just throw this gear on my horse.
Pa!
What?
You don't own a horse.
And last but not least, I'll send for Gentleman George Agnew. We call him gentleman because of his spotless character, his courtly manners, his spit and polish appearance. Now, I'm telling you, Gentleman George, you stay out of this saloon for good.
Doggone, Mac, I'm gonna miss going in that saloon of yours. You know, when I get to liking a man, I freeze to him.
Well, I'm freezing you out. Now, there's your cards. And don't try using that slippery deck again. Next place, you're liable to wind up full of holes.
Yeah, so they caught you pulling a little flim-flam and jiggery-pokery with the cards again, eh, George?
Sheriff, I just filled out an inside straight, fair and square. I could have used this ace or this deuce, but the deuces wasn't wild.
No, Mac didn't throw you out just for the exercise.
That joke was on Mac. All I did was reach in my pistol pocket for my harmonica. Here, I'll play you a little piece.
George, I think you best move on out of range. Now, why don't you go on home and get some sleep?
I ain't got no room, Frank. I've been doing all my sleeping in Mac's saloon in yonder.
Oh, I need a bed. I could toss you in jail.
Jail? What for?
Well, for most anything. For inciting a riot. For littering up the streets. Now, come on.
I don't want to put you to all that bother, Frank. I'll just find myself another saloon.
George, you have used up every saloon in the whole Oklahoma territory.
Well, there must be somebody building a new one around here somewhere.
George? George Agnew?
You!
I got a telegram for you, George.
Who in the world would be sending me a telegram? Let's see this thing. Yeehaw! Brazos!
What's that mean?
I'm wanted.
Well, now, that don't surprise me none. Who by?
The Texas Rangers. My old captain wants me to come up to Nevada. You know, I gotta get me a broom-tailed fiddle-footer and ride.
George! You dang old fool! Come back here! Yeah, Brad. Hello. Yeah, Brad. Yeah, hello. Yeah.
Why, you long-legged, you-necked broomtail? The first time I ever seen one jackass riding another.
Now, who you calling a jackass? You old moss-backed, bull-winded, kettle-bellied...
George!
Nash!
Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
You answered the captain's call?
Yep. Figured he had real need of good fighting men. But I don't know, seeing as how he called on you.
Why, you old coot. Who got them two cattle rustlers down in Bandera County that time?
I did.
I winged them for you.
George, you're looking a little poorly. Kind of scummy and gone to grass belly.
You look like you wintered too good yourself. And who upped you up on that horse? You must be 95 if you're a day.
Well, I reckon my gun ain't aged none.
I reckon that's what counts, Sergeant.
Then let's ride.
Yeah, Brazos! Jason, George Agnew, you're a sight for sore eyes.
Well, your eyes must be mighty sore, Jace. I'm Nash Crawford.
Oh, sure. I know you anywhere, Nash. Red hair, straight as a ramrod, skinny waist like a girl's.
Well, by jingles, the captain sure called up the best man of the old outfit.
And the captain don't like to be kept waiting, so let's move out. All you Texas Rangers, wherever you may be, I'll tell you of some trouble that happened once to me. Our captain, he informed us one dark and stormy night, before you reach the river, boys, you'll have yourself a fight. The weather is fearful. The rain came down like stones. The wind was even soaking, but it feels our weary. I saw the Indian coming. I heard him give the yell. My feeling at that minute, no mother's son can tell.
I hate to say this, sir. I know they were your best men, but I'm worried.
What do you mean, son?
They're a little old, aren't they?
Yes, I guess they are. But then maybe so am I.
My boy, a man never really sees himself till he looks at the friends he once knew.
What are we going to do, Captain?
Well, I certainly am not going to tell them how I feel. Sure, they're old. They haven't got much left. But they prove they're still Rangers by answering my call. All they need is something that needs them. Something that needs doing. I know that feeling, too.
I just wish I hadn't let you get into this.
Well, you stop fretting, Jeff. We're going to get you elected mayor. All right. Sergeant, call assembly.
You heard the captain fall in. Assemble, you jug-eared scrinkle-horn.
I'm assembled.
Well, assemble lengthwise. Assemble neat and proper, Captain.
All right, man. Now, you know why I've called you all together.
Yeah, to roust out some tin-horn mayor and his four-flushing gang. I say leave us right in and clean him out tonight, Captain.
Hold it, Nash. Hold it. You see, Lundy has the support of a corrupt judge, gun-happy sheriff, plus all his deputies.
Well, if there ain't more than 20 of them, Captain, I'll ride in and get them myself.
Now, hold it. Hold it, man. This comes to a showdown. It could be, quite a fight. We haven't been together in some time. Maybe we ought to sharpen up for a couple of days. You know, some of us might be just a little rusty.
I ain't rusty, Captain. Practice my draw most every day. I've been training a couple of young fellas down in Abilene.
I guess you ain't heard, Captain. I've been making a name for myself in that Oklahoma territory from one end to the other.
You figure wearing these specs is slowing me down? It ain't so. Just holding me up sharper in other ways. I can smell what a man's fixing to do. I can hear the sneeze of a flea.
You can?
All right, man, that's good. But we're wasting time. Election is only a week off. Jeff, you ride in town tonight? Tell Lundy he's got until tomorrow morning to clear out, along with his crooked friends. And
If you don't take the warning, Captain Hayes and his Rangers are going to ride in at dawn ready for a showdown.
Oh, I am disappointed in you, Jeff. I thought you were strongly against violence and gunplay.
I don't think there'll be any. I figure you'll go.
Texas Rangers? They're a mean bunch. Maybe I ought to injunct the legal paper against them. Whereas the people of this here town declare that all troublemakers looking to make...
Why don't you save that for your next Supreme Court decision? Go finish your beer, will you?
Well, thank you.
He said that old fellow wouldn't worry you none when he rode into town.
Just a bluff. Jeff Rose would never sanction open warfare.
You gonna do nothing about it? Just gonna sit there and let them Rangers ride in free?
Ex-Rangers, Clyde. They got no authority here. Sure. Let them ride in free, but if any of them start making any trouble, you have got a sworn duty to put down any attempted gunplay on the streets of our fair town, Sheriff.
Now you're talking, Nard. Real shootout on Main Street.
Captain Hayes of the Texas Rangers, sir. Did you receive my ultimatum? Captain, I just couldn't believe that you were serious. I have the greatest admiration for the reputation of the Rangers, but I do believe that you have no true military authority, and certainly not here in the state of Nevada.
That's a legal ruling. Section 4, Article 2. Whereas all men known by the...
All right, Judge. We are here as a private company of vigilantes, Mr. Mayor, to preserve law and order and to ensure an honest election. How would you propose to do that, sir? By seeing you and your associates out of this town now. By force, if necessary. Captain, as you see, we are unarmed. I'll give you 1 minute to get armed. Captain. We are a peaceable town of law and order. We do not want any bloodshed on our streets. Now, why can't we settle this obvious electioneering stunt in a sporting manner, eh? Why don't we have a shooting contest, the losers to leave town? Now, you select your best marksman and fastest draw. Now, when I shout draw, go for your gun. Ready? Well, Captain,
You want a fair draw? I figured it's going to count first.
Let me have him. I can outdraw you the best day you ever lived, Sheriff.
My son-in-law, you idiot.
Ooh. Captain, I'm afraid that you and your men have been the victims of some poor advice. Boulder is a friendly and peaceful town. Now, if you'll all just step inside to the Eldorado, I'll stand drinks all around.
That makes sense to me.
Mount up. Retreat and reform. Well, Jeff, it's just like you always said. The West has changed. Things aren't what they used to be. They certainly aren't.
In this town has ever had the nerve to do.
Thank you, madam.
Not Madam Smith. Miss Cassie McGuire.
Cassie McGuire, the famous singer and dancer? Why, I once paid $2 in Tombstone to see you perform.
Doggone, I saw you in a saloon in Tulsa. They couldn't get another person in that place that wanted to take a good look at you.
How nice it is to run into old friends like this. Can I offer you all a drink?
No, I don't think we should.
Captain, you going to turn down another drink?
Well, Mayor Lundy doesn't approve of any business coming into my place anyway.
Well, in that case, Miss McGuire, we accept your offer with pleasure.
Good.
Singer? Dancer? And you own a saloon? Say, you're a pretty little thing.
Aw.
I never had the honor of serving a whole company of Rangers before.
I ain't been in the Rangers for quite a spell, Cassie. Guess that was plain to see when I drawed down on the sheriff out there.
Well, there was a day when you were the fastest gun in the West, Nash.
Much obliged, Captain. But I reckon today I'm just the... Well, I guess I'm just the biggest windbag. You know, I didn't even get a shot off.
You ain't alone, Sergeant. Only thing I've shot off in the past few years is my big mouth.
Now, come on, I don't want any of that kind of talk around here. I didn't invite you in here to hold a wake. I just wanted you to know that there's some folks in this town who are mighty proud of what you all tried to do.
It's a dirty shame when a whelp like Lundy puts a squeeze on a pretty little thing like you.
I've been hanging on hoping Jeff would beat him in the election next week. And I'm going to keep hanging on till Lundy is plumb wore out. Or until he shoots me. And even then, they're going to have to pound me into Boot Hill like a steak. Because I'm just too stubborn to lie down.
Yeah. She'd have been some Texas Ranger.
Tetchy's a tease snake. That's a lot of mad Irish on the prod.
You know, a little petticoat like that keeps losing and fighting back. What's ailing us?
No, Jason's right. We only lost the first skirmish. No fella in the wrong can stand up against a fella that's in the right and keeps on a-coming.
Oh, man. First of all, I want to tell you that I'm grateful for the way you responded to my call quickly and loyally, no questions asked. I appreciate that. But I want to apologize for doing it. You see, I had forgotten that you'd retired honorably from the Rangers to set up new lives for yourself because you were tired of guns and fighting.
No, that ain't so, Captain. We just used up all the bad engines and the outlaws in Texas.
We just cleaned ourselves out of business.
And we didn't retire. We just ran out of something to do.
No, there was a time when we could have set this town on its ear. But we've got to face it. We're over the hill now. And me, well, I'm just a witless old blockhead to bring you all the way out here on a wild goose chase.
Captain, you all done speech making?
Yes, I'm all done, Nash. Except anybody wants any help or money to get home.
I ain't going home. Not yet. Not till I get done what I came here to do. I ain't never crawled home with the tail between my legs in my life. And I'm too old to take on any new bad habits like that now.
Hold it, Nash.
Now, Captain, look, just set yourself down and let me lose jaw a spell, huh?
Just a minute. You can't pull rank on me. You're only a first sergeant.
I'm pulling age on you. Age. That's all we got working for us now. Ain't that what you just said?
Yeah.
You know, I got laughed at out there today. It's a feeling I ain't never had before. And I tell you, it don't sit easy with me.
Well, you almost outdrawed him, Nash.
Almost gets a man a quick funeral. We got to go along with what the captain said. Time's been tailing us, and it's overtook us. All right, so we are a mite older. A man ain't through till he's dead.
Sometimes a man's dead when he ain't no use anymore.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Now, look, we got plenty of use left in us. I've been totaling up these years, and it figures there's something around 275 years of fighting savvy in this outfit, put all together in a lump. We can whip this Lundy and his gang if we just go at it right, use the right artillery.
What do we use?
What do we use? We use our wits.
Well, maybe they've gone rusty, too. Or we wouldn't have come running up here like a bunch of young buckos in the first place.
It ain't so. We all come here a-running because we was needed. We packed our bowie knives and our saddlebags and our Colts. There's one thing we didn't pack in there. That's our wits.
All right, Nash, but the election is only a week off. What have you got in mind?
Well, now, Captain, Do you recall how we rounded up them tin-horn gamblers in Chimney Butte?
Yeah.
And how we bamboozled that big gang of Comanchero horse thieves on the border?
Yeah.
Trickery and deception. The old theory. Divide and conquer.
That's it. Get inside the enemy camp, gnaw away at his vitals without him knowing it.
You know, this might work. It just might work here. I get an idea. It's horse high, bull strong, and hog tight.
Well, I got even with you. I just said 30 days or $30. Hey, ain't that one of the old mossbacks that rode into town today?
That's the one I blew the hat off of.
What's he up to? Flip-flopping around like a wall-eyed mule in a windstorm.
He'll probably come back to even up the score. Couldn't find his gun in the daylight. I'll go down to the jail. You go across there and prod him with some of your legal talk.
Well, now, hold on, Clyde. You're the lawman.
Ain't got nothing against you. Now go on.
Well, howdy. You one of those old rangers that rode in town today?
Well, I reckon I can't call that hand.
You looking for somebody?
Now, nobody in particular.
Well, it appeared to me that you were tailing the sheriff.
You look like one of the honest men around here. I don't suppose you got any love for the crooked law in this town, huh?
Well, maybe.
Well, I'm tailing the sheriff right enough. But I ain't such a good shot no more. I got to get just the right distance and the right light and all. But sooner or later, I'll kill him.
Mister, you happen to be talking to Judge Amos Polk, duly constituted to order all felonious and unruly gunslingers strung up.
Judge Polk? Well, now I'm glad it's you. You're a friend of Mayor Lundy's, ain't you?
Well, we, closely associated, yeah.
Well, I've been hired by the mayor to do this job.
Why, that's impossible.
Oh, the mayor's a smart politician. He knows the sheriff ain't helping his election chances any. With the lawman and his gunnies gone, the mayor's record will look a whole lot cleaner. And he can pick himself a nice, shiny new sheriff.
But Lundy wouldn't have... But why you?
Well, I just blew in and now be blowing right out. Lundy won't have me around and he won't owe me nothing. Except a nice bundle I already got in my pocket here.
It's a lie. Lundy wouldn't do it. That old buzzard's loose between the ears.
Maybe the old man's better than you think he is, Clyde. Maybe he just let you outdraw him today to get you off guard and make you get careless.
Well, I guess they're on their way to State Lundy.
You started something.
Got him nibbling at the bait real good.
No, Clyde, no. I do not want you gunning down an old man like that.
But he's out to get me. He told Amos.
That's right.
Oh, what are you so worried about?
You already proved you could outdraw him.
He's tailing me.
You've been tailed before.
Nard, let me get him. I'll make it real easy for him. Get real close. Let him reach first.
No. Besides, he is no competition for you, Clyde. Anyway, the town has already laughed him out.
Now, Clyde, they're on your side now, but if you kill him,
They're going to turn against you. You give them a nasty taste in the mouth right before election.
You're willing to let him get me?
Well, Clyde, let me put it to you this way. If you get him, I'm going to have to take that little star away from you and get me a more peace-loving sheriff.
You gonna raise or call, Steele?
I'm pondering. I already got my last month's wages and half the next.
The cards have never been so good to me. You too many for me, fella.
A streak like that ain't natural. I just call. Pair of aces, king high.
I got a pair of aces with a little 4 high.
I guess you fellas got the bulge on me. You sure know when to lose, don't you, Dobie, little dinky pot?
Wait a minute. You opened this, I recall.
Yeah, that's right, Dobie. You got to show openers.
What's the difference? I told you had me beat.
It's real plain. Like you didn't want to show openers. You had 3 aces.
I didn't know where I got them.
Easy. You did the shuffling and dealing.
Yeah, and I cut. Now, I don't want to hold up a good poker game over some picky little sparkles over the rules. But 7 aces in one deck, whew, that's a lot of aces.
Maybe it's a bad deck. Been mighty good to you. Till now.
You saying I rigged this deck, Steele?
I'm saying it.
Well, we got 1 deputy on the ground and 3 in the air.
Very clever, George. I'm just glad they didn't catch you making hanky-panky with the cards.
Oh, they were easy marks. I could have put 10 aces in that deck, but I just didn't want to show off my talent. I hope all this flim-flam works. But Lundy knows we're still hanging around this town.
He can't see us doing anything that'll jeopardize his security.
He knows Nash is still carrying the night sheriff.
Well, that don't bother him none. It ain't his hide. He's already seen a sample of my shooting.
Well, maybe he's figuring that we're thinking on something.
Yeah, thinking there's one thing that's bound to give the mayor fits. He can't tax it, he can't stop it, and he can't even tell when anybody's doing it.
Hey, this is going to work out just fine. And we still got 3 more days for election.
You know, it's about time for me to go take another hard twist in the sheriff's tail. Reckon he sees me following him in his sleep now. That is, if he's doing any sleeping.
What about Jason? Is he seeing to his assignment?
Oh, yeah, right about now. I figure he ought to be setting old Judge Polk's shirt tail on fire.
You're a mighty generous man, Jason.
Well, it ain't often a man gets the honor and the privilege of drinking with a famous judge, appointed by the governor himself.
Well, I got a secret for you, Jason. I wasn't appointed by the governor. I paid $10 for my office, 2 buffalo skins, and a case of whiskey.
No. Say, that's a good one. Why didn't you buy the mayor job? What did you want to be a judge for?
Well, I wanted to be where I could do people the most good. And by golly, I was, too, because I wasn't in there 2 days and I let 10 of my best friends out of jail. That's doing good.
Man does good like that ought to get himself a medal.
Yeah.
Shame Mayor Lundy's fixing to dirty up such a fine reputation.
Mayor Lundy, what's that, Jason?
I just can't sit still for a thing like that. I tell you what, Your Honor. Why don't you sell me your office and get out before he does it to you? I'll give you $100 for it. That's 1,000% profit.
Well, Mayor Lundy can't do that to me. He needs me. I make some mighty tricky decisions for him. Why, I even had a couple of fellas hung for him once.
I know it's hard for an honorable man like you to swallow, but Lundy's fixing to dump you just before the election.
No.
He's got to. The governor got a hold of a copy of Jeff Rose's paper.
Well, I'm not going to take the blame for this all by myself. He's just as guilty as I am.
That's what he's fixing to do. He's going to have a real house cleaning. Clean up this town. Show the folks that he's just an honorable, upright man taken in by a couple of crooks like you and Sheriff Barnes.
Barnes? Why, Lundy hired a gunny to kill him.
Well, I guess he was a mite more fond of you.
Excuse me.
You're boiled, Amos. Get out.
You try it, Nard. We're in this thing together. You're not going to dump me.
Amos, what in the world are you screaming about? Nobody's going to dump you. No. Still, it might be kind of a good idea if you started thinking about retiring. You know, you could go out to California and take it easy.
Well, you're not going to edge me out. I got all of my records hid away. And if I go down, I'm going to drag you with me.
You hit him like a blast of buckshot. Old Judge Pope is ore-eyed and hunting for grass.
It's only 3 days before election, and Lundy doesn't even seem disturbed.
Well, there's one thing you can figure. He ain't dumb.
Yeah, he ought to be feeling the burr under his blanket any time now.
I'm a little concerned about Judge Pope and Sheriff Barnes. They're behaving in a most peculiar manner. I'm afraid somebody or something has gotten to them.
The judge is running real scared about something, that's a fact.
Yeah, I figure the sheriff is just a little edgy about that old gunny, tailing him night and day.
Well, why don't you tail him, Steele? I want to know everyone he talks to and everywhere he goes. And Tucker, cover the judge the same way.
What are you tailing me for?
Well, Sheriff Mayor Lundy ordered me to follow you and,
Figured the old man couldn't get me. Hired you to do the killing, huh?
Now, wait just 1 minute.
If I wait any longer, I'll be dead.
2 deputies down and 2 to go.
No need for that. I've been keeping an eye on His Honor.
And I've been keeping an eye on you, mister.
Well, both of you can just get. My orders to trail the judge come right from the mayor himself.
Lundy put you on me.
That's funny. The mayor gave me the same job. You know, this is a mighty confusing town. You can't tell who's out to get who.
Lundy wouldn't hire an old hammerhead like you. Not when he's got us.
Gentlemen, maybe I can outshoot you. I got $100 hard dollars that says I can. Now, you want to ante up or pass the buck?
I ain't got 100.
Me neither, but I'd sure like to get yours, mister.
Well, just throw yourselves in the pot. I'll put up the 100, and if you lose, you both can just get out of town.
Good. Let me at that 100.
Now, hold on. What's the contest?
Wing shooting for distance and accuracy in the dark.
Wing shooting?
Yeah. For what? See that flock of geese coming over? I'm gonna get that bull goose. You boys just picture yourselves going out of the flock. I guess you boys got what they call a touch of night blind. Maybe we ought to try something easier, like 3 cushion or ricochet shooting. Yeah, we'll try that. Come on with me. Now, you see that light and catches saloon over there? I'm going to shoot through the door, shoot that light out. That bullet's going to bounce against that pot-bellied stove, ricochet across the street, hit that anvil in front of the blacksmith shop, ricochet across the street again, hit that cowbell over that store, come back towards me, and I'm going to catch that lead slug with my teeth.
Hey, man, lie that good.
You know, I was a mite bit off on that shot. If I hadn't caught that bullet with my teeth, it might have passed by me and hit one of you boys right between the eyes. Now, you want to try your hands, or you just want to get on your horses and ride?
We'll be riding.
You boys ought to find good work back east. Of course, there ain't no cause for any real shooting.
It ain't safe here no more. All my deputies are either dead or they left town. I ain't got no backup.
You shot one of them yourself.
Well, I figured somebody said that...
You figured. Somebody said. What is the matter with you, Clyde, anyway? You just falling apart or something, Clyde? You falling apart? Is this job gotten to be too big for you? Or maybe you just soon not be part of my new administration after I get reelected.
My price has come down, Your Honor. It's $50 now.
Well, I'll take it. It'll pay the stage fare to Mexico. For good and valuable consideration, here paid over, I do hereby hand you the right and title, honor, and elements of my office. And what the Almighty has joined up, let no man monkey with.
Right on schedule. 2 days before election. But Lundy's still here.
I reckon it's time to pay him a little visit.
Gentlemen, come in. We're a little crowded in here, but I'm sure we can squeeze you in. What's your pleasure?
We're here to see you out of town.
Oh, dear, I thought we'd settled all that foolishness.
You're through, Lundy. The judge and the sheriff just took off on the last stage.
Oh? Well, small loss. Matter of fact, it'll allow me to dispense some patronage after I'm elected, eh? New blood. Matter of fact, I must thank you for helping me to clean house.
Why, without your tin-horn judge and your gun-happy sheriff, people will begin to get the feel of what it's like to be free.
Yeah, maybe the people will vote you out.
I believe the people will vote the way I recommend.
You can't scare them into voting for you. Your gunmen have left town. You just ain't got no protection.
That is where you're wrong. You know, I was puzzled at first, but then it suddenly occurred to me what you gentlemen were up to. So, I imported an entirely new staff of associates. Now I believe I must ask you to get out of town. Now, by high noon.
It's a bluff.
Gentlemen, allow me to introduce you. These men happen to be the deadliest guns in the West today. Big Red Connors. Little Billy Ford. The Barton brothers. Frank Mace. Leif Jordan.
Papa, you have got to give up. It's no use.
Well, we almost had Lundy whipped. This time we'll do it.
Please, Papa. He said be out of town by high noon. It's almost that time now.
Things are a lot worse than they were when we started, Captain.
Jeff, we can't back down now. We won the support and the respect of all the townspeople. And they're ready to vote for you.
You really believe your handful of old rangers can make a stand against that gang of lawless cutthroats?
My men are setting up our first line of defense now. This town will long remember the gunfight at Cassie's Corral.
Sun's about dead center.
Be careful of that mirror, boys. I had it shipped all the way from New York in the good old days.
Don't you worry, Miss Cassie. If we bust it, we'll get you a bigger and better one from that fancy mail order house called Monkey Ward's.
Now, give me some of that fluff.
Miss Platt, we certainly appreciate your help in the use of your establishment. I'm only afraid it's going to suffer considerably.
Can't suffer anymore, and it's already been suffering.
Well, I think you better be on your way over to the general store.
Good luck, Captain.
Thank you.
High noon.
They've had their chance. Now let's run them out. They're holed up in there. Apparently they didn't take my warning seriously, huh? I didn't think they'd be foolish enough to fight. Well, this won't take long. 2 or 3 of you break in there, tell them to get on their horses and ride.
We're in this room.
this piano.
Hit you? No, just got me between drawers.
Get down the street. Flush him out. All right, ram it.
Sounds like they got an army. Let's get out of here. They're heading for the Eldorado.
Stay out of here now. I don't want my place shot up.
Too bad. You got the best hole up in town. Now get in there.
Scatter! Scatter!
I'll keep the mountain and guns from above. You slow them up down here.
Free here, let you have it.
Here's another.
I guess we cut out.
There goes that tin horn that hired us without pay. Look, let us get our horses. Maybe we can catch him before he gets too far.
No warrants for you here. You can go. But we don't want you back.
Don't worry. Robbing banks and jumping claims is faster, easier, and it pays a whole lot better.
Friends, thanks to the courage of Captain Hayes and his valiant Texas Rangers, this town can now look forward to the start of a new era. As your duly elected mayor, I promise a new day that will last a long, long time. Honest lawmen, true justice in our court. We may never be a big town, but we'll be peaceable, quiet, and happy, raising our children in an atmosphere free of gambling, vice, and corruption. And to completely erase our soiled and tarnished past, we'll even change the names on a lot of things.
Well, I reckon it's time for us to be riding.
You want me to help you up on that horse, you old droop horn?
Any of you fellas come up wanted for hanging, I'll be glad to try your case. I'm a $50 judge now, you know.
I'm proud of you, boys. Best outfit a man ever headed up.
That goes for me, too. I hope you all come back real soon. Next time I'll do my spider dance for you.
I sure would like to be here, Miss Cassie, that next time. Captain, if you need us, if it ain't too long, that is. Attention!
If I head east, I'll be in that territory of Oklahoma.
I reckon if I split the difference between you, I ought to come out somewhere near Kansas City.
Say, you know them two young fellas I said I've been training down in Texas?
Yeah.
They're only 7 and 8 year old. They're my grandsons.
What will you train them for? To be housebroke?
Well, I reckon there's a few things I can still teach them, like not making some of the fool mistakes I done.
That's always the way it is. When a man starts handing out good advice, he ain't up to set no more bad examples.
Well, now I ain't heard of you winning no big battles in Oklahoma.
Well, I started a bunch of them. Nearly every saloon down there. I just wasn't there at the finish. You know, Sergeant, it must be nice to have your own home and your family and watch your grandkids grow up.
I sort of got a family in Kansas City. These old-timers in this old folks' home.
We could put you up in Aberdeen, George. We got plenty of places for you to bed down. That is, if...
No, thank you, Sergeant. I'll just go back to Oklahoma and find myself a new saloon. You know something? Since I've been up here, I've got my old knack back with the cards again. I just might get myself a lucky streak of going down there.
I reckon I got enough to tell the folks back home to last out the rest of my time.
You know, I've been accused of telling tall tales before, but just wait till you hear this one.
Well, I guess we better be riding out. So long, and good luck, fellas.
Well, so long, Rangers. We'll get together again. Real soon.
Well, so long.
So long.